Hello, everybody. All right, so we're at Thursday now, the final news day before, of course, our weekly look back at comics history. Today is Thursday, September 28th. I hope everybody's been having a good week. Everybody's had a good, productive week come out for themselves. Um, anyways, as we wait for more people, we're going to give people a chance to come in a moment here. I'm gonna go take care of something real quick. I'll be right back. Put some music on while I'm gone. Let's give people a chance to come in. All right, I'm back. Let me at least see if I can get the word out a little bit here. And then when I do after I do that, then we'll talk about what's on tap for tonight. Let's see now. Anybody else might be in? Let me see. Alrighty then. So, anyways, well, we're at 5 minute mark. So, of course, tonight, Thursday nights of late have been the nights that we've been going over the Indie Comic Showcase article from Bleeding Full, which we will be doing in a moment. Also, of course, we'll have our normal wrestling wrap up, going over all that's going on in the world of pro wrestling, and then the this day in each history, and then we'll wrap things up. So, without any further ado, why don't we go ahead and get started then? All right, so we're gonna go ahead and get started here on our get started on this article, of course, talking about some of the latest stuff coming out to the indie comic scene. Okay, so, mhm. With that, let's go ahead and get started here then. All right, so here we go. Indie Comic Showcase number 241 and Bengali, Hatch, and Flip City Magazine. Article by Chris Bray, published yesterday, 27th. So let's go ahead and take a look at this. Welcome back to another installment of Indie Comic Showcase, the weekly blog where we signal boost a few truly independent comics that are currently crowdfunding their projects, crowdsourcing their funding in some way, or just completely self-publishing on their own. Every little bit of support for these creators matters, from a single dollar pledge to the $25 bundle. And of course, the higher tiers are usually fun too. Even if you can't back a campaign or buy a book, you can share or tweet about these projects to your friends and followers. On Indie Comic Showcase, we interview the creators, show off some art, and tell you how you can check out the product for yourself. Below, we have some outstanding crowdfunding campaigns this week for you to learn about, enjoy, and hopefully support by backing one or more of them. Thanks for checking these out and for being the best part of Indie Comic Showcase. Let's jump in. Flip City Magazine by Scott McKenzie. Clown robot there, very Guardians of the Galaxy, James Corbett, Across the Spider-Verse. Okay. And let me just go ahead and pull up the campaign here. And before we actually go into reading the article here, if you guys would like to check out this campaign, here's the link. You guys can go ahead and check it out. It's a Fun My Comics project, so Flip City Magazine is what this one is called. So there you go, if you guys want to check that out. All right. All right, so Chris Braley. Welcome to ICS, Scott. What is Flip City Magazine? Scott McKenzie. Flip City Magazine is a comic satire rag, like Mad back when it was hilariously subversive and banned from entering any decent household. Okay. Independently publishing since 2020, Volume 18 marks entry into quote unquote adulthood. And to celebrate, we bulked the magazine up to 80 full color pages. Following our variety packed format, this edition includes comic parodies of Guardian of the Galaxy and Into the Spider-Verse. I think it's supposed to be Guardians of the Galaxy, but oh well. Original comics like Woke World, The Regressives, and Karen Extreme, and the world's most based crossword, an interview with James Corbett, a short story titled Cyberclown, comic strips, and plenty more hilarious hijinks. The magazine is always full of original illustration created by real live people. The book is complete and ready to be shipped. Yeah, I know they've drawn comparisons to Mad Magazine. It sounds a little bit like Highlights too. Granted, probably a bit more Mad than Highlights, but still more of a magazine with other interesting little tidbits in it, like comics. Chris, what inspired you to create this publication and led to you self-publishing it? Scott, growing up, I was a huge fan of Cracked and Mad Magazine, busting a gut every time I was able to sneak one into my house. These irreverent magazines went out with a whimper, and this could be a factor in what I view as the rise in the humorless age. And Scott's not, of course, the first person to talk about that. There are a number of people, including Yellow Flash, about with just the way comics are going right now. You know, so with the writing and stuff. Taking offense is a badge of honor for a portion of the modern Western world, and comedy dies. If you're too afraid to cause offense, if there was a time this style of magazine needed to exist, it is right now. Because irreverent satire is unapologetic by nature, and kneeling to sacred cows is a sin, self publishing was the only way to go. We will never censor ourselves to avoid mobs of whiny brats trying to cancel us. Yeah, can you imagine those whiny brats coming around with pitchforks and yeah, just run them over, I say, right? Uh, Chris, what kind of readers is this aimed at? Scott, Flip City was created for people that enjoy laughing at a world gone mad and are not easily offended. If you believe there are groups of people that are above ridicule, it's not for you. We are okay with that. Flip City comments on modern life, so the content can get a little spicy. We say it's suitable for ages 16 and up, though some of our readers report they allow their younger children to read it. We offer a free magazine you can read online, and then here's the site itself, and I guess I'll put that up too. Here's a link to the Flip City site itself if you want to go check that out. Um, Gives you a chance to actually read the magazine online for free. Huh. Star-Lord Peter Squeal must rally his team to defend the universe. No surprises there, but the mission is not successful, and the ticket sales are bad enough. It could mean a permanent lunch break for director James Gunn and the snarky ones of the galaxy. Okay. Oh boy. Chris, tell me about the creative process and how it applies to Flip City magazine. Scott, early on, I developed a patented comedic writing technique for exclusive use in Flip City as follows: smart, smart, fart, smart, fart, fart, smart. Okay. When I am satisfied with the delicately balanced formula of smart and fart jokes, okay, I pass it to one of our contributing illustrators to add their own bombastic flair to the right. Yeah, because everybody loves toilet bowl humor, right? Everybody loves toilet humor, poopy humor, right? uh, I'm sure we all remember, when we were back in middle school, whatever, elementary, middle, even high school, cupping your hands together like this, putting them over your mouth, and blowing into it, making that farting sound, right? Anyways, because our dedication to freedom of expression, I don't give a ton of instruction for the art with hilarious results. Art submissions come in, and if I like it, I will write something to go with it. Some of our contributors write and illustrate their own strips that are regularly published. So, like the publication itself, the process is a madhouse and it works well. Chris, who are some of the creators that contribute to the magazine? Scott, we found the most talented and hilarious illustrators from across the interzones and have never actively sought anyone. These fantastic people find out that the American Satire magazine is back and want in. We're blessed. Volume 18 features 15 contributors, with a few of our regulars being our lead parody artist is Deft Hand Demin. Our Flip City printer is Dangerous Dave McDowell. Gary Locke of American Spectator, and a long list of prominent clients contribute to the book, and Sonny Klein is our short story writer. All right. Woke World. Oh God. Let's see. What are you learning on self-publishing through this process? Chris asked. Scott, in response, self-publishing means you're wearing all the hats and are constantly learning. If you care to make money in it, be prepared to learn marketing and always be excited about what you're doing. This current crowdfunding campaign is our first, and looking back, we realize importance of building friendships and networking with other indie creators through crowdfunding. Let's see. Chris, are you ready for the next issue? What can we expect next? Scott, as long as we haven't been sent to a re-education summer camp, we will continue publishing Flip City on a quarterly basis. We have other publications in development. We'll push forward once we have more name recognition. How does a nice girl go from this, picture on the left, to this? Oh boy, good question. Any special perks we should look for on the Fund My Comic campaign? Scott, our very first special edition, The Parodies, is a perk created to be available only on Fund My Comic. It's 72-page digital edition that includes many of our popular movie and television parodies. It's fun because we publish quarterly for our list of subscribers. The risk in backing any of our projects is minimal. It will get done. You read Flip City, you're contributing to climate change and are definitely some kind of ist or phobe. Yeah. So we hear, right? Chris, it looks fun, Scott. Thanks for bringing it to our attention. Any final comments? Scott, impact culture by supporting the independent creators. All right, so there we go with that one. Okay, so the next book, well, let's see. Actually, I do need to step away for a quick moment because I think I need to grab a little more light here. So I'm going to go off camera here for a moment, put some music on while I'm gone. And when I come back, we'll go ahead and move on. All right, I'm back. Let me see. So we'll continue this in yeah, I just want to check something real quick. I got a message back at Lily. Alrighty then. So, anyways, getting ready to move on to this next part of the article here. Hatch, annotated by Glenn B. Fleming. Hatch after Norman Rockwell, 2022. Right, so let me go grab the link here. There's another, of course, fun. And a lot of stuff, I guess, coming that Chris Braley is focusing on, of course, is bringing you the Fun My Comic stuff. So if you want to check this next campaign out, here is the link to that. And check that out on Fun My Comic. Hatch annotated from Glenn Fleming here. Glenn B. Fleming. So let's go ahead and see what's up here. All right, so Chris Braley, welcome to Indie Comic Showcase, Glenn. What's the elevator pitch for Hatch annotated? Glenn Fleming. Hatch is a cartoon character who lives on a remote asteroid far out in space and has no knowledge of anything other than he is completely alone. That said, he is never lonely, even though his day compounds bewilderment and disbelief as his life unfolds. This 100-page color annotated edition boasts an in-depth interview with creator detailing the birth and evolution of this lovable character with previously unseen original source material. Chris, where did the idea for Hatch originate? Tell me a bit about the journey to here. Glenn, Hatch has been around since 1987. I published Hatch's first book the next day in 2018. Then COVID hit, and the second book, Hatch What's Up, was delayed, but I'm happy to say it will be published by New Have Publishing in a few weeks' time. In conjunction with this annotated volume, the Hatch What's Up art is fully hand lettered and hand painted by myself. Both Hatch annotated and Hatch What's Up are finished and ready for print. Hatch What's Up is 40 pages, all in full color, hand lettered and painted. Let's see. Chris, what kind of comic readers is this suited for? Glenn, it's aimed at everyone. Really, there are no quote adult themes, nudity, etc. And parentheses there. So kids of all ages can enjoy the stories. It's a fun book, a simple cartoon character, just to be enjoyed. It's got kind of a Paddington. From what I see, it's got kind of a Paddington-esque feel to it, like the older Paddington shows. Paddington the Bear, if you guys ever saw those. I think they were back in the late 70s, early 80s, somewhere around there. I think, but tell me about your art. Chris asked, "Tell me about your art style and how you used it here." Glenn, I write and draw the series along with ideas thrown in by my wife, Helen. All of my art is produced on artboard paper with pencils, brushes, colored inks. I have used computers for lettering and coloring in the past, but it leaves me cold. I can understand why a lot of artists like to have that personal impression left on their work. So that doesn't surprise me that he feels that way. I prefer to use the so-called quote-unquote traditional methods to produce my art. Chris, what have you been learning from crowdfunding and creating through this process? Glenn, crowdfunding can be frustrating at best, and it was a joy to find a publisher who would take the Hatch What's Up book. Following the campaign, I'm hoping they will publish the annotated book too. New Haven have already published 2 of my books so far this year. One about Jack Kirby, and a children's book is ready for Christmas. Yeah, I think there's a film going around, a little film going on around out there. Glenn, I think, was one of the last people to actually spend some time with Jack Kirby before he passed on, if I understand correctly. One of the people outside of Jack Kirby's family, that is. Chris, what are your plans beyond this book? Are there more Hatch stories to tell? Glenn, there are many stories to tell about Hatch. I have literally hundreds of scenarios, sketches, and plans for him. Animated film is on the cards too, as I have been contacted by an animation company. Wow, that's interesting. Let's see, Chris. Thanks, Glenn. Anything else you would like to share with our readers about campaign before we sign off? Glenn, my wife is a ceramic artist. She has produced an 8-foot or 8-inch high figurine of Hatch. That's, I guess, what we're seeing up there, which kind of remind me of like claymation stuff, like Gumby and all that. This unique piece of art is for sale through the crowdfunder. If the campaign doesn't work, I will either let New Haven or any publisher publish Hatch. Failing that, I will continue to self-publish. People as far away as Japan asking about this book. Chris, good luck with the campaign, Glenn. We're rooting for you. All right. So. Bengali number 3 by Nick Garber. Hey, Shadowhawk. We're just going over the Indie Comic Showcase from Bleeding Fool, I believe. Hopefully you'll enjoy it. And if you haven't already, of course, if you can like and share the stream, see if we can get some more friendly people in here. That'd be of some help. And thank you for the like and share already. And of course, if anything here grabs your attention, feel free to comment and or ask questions. So, anyways. Let's get to this next part of the book here. Bengali number 3 by Nick Garber. And then as soon as I get down to it, okay, let me just go grab the link, and then I will go ahead and copy that and put it in the chat. All right, if you guys want to check this campaign out, here's the link to it. We'll go over the interview from Chris here in a moment. So there's the link. All right, so here we go. Chris Braley, welcome to Indie Comic Showcase, Nick. What's the pitch for Bengali? Nick Garber. A good man comes in contact with a mask of dark power, which creates a conflict between them as the good man begins to corrupt the dark entity as they protect the city of San Diego. Chris, how did you come up with the concept and then decide to self-publish this comic? Um, Nick, I think that's his name, right? Yeah, Nick. Right? Nick, it was a round of drinks with my business partner, and we started asking, what if we uh, could corrupt evil? We have a comic publishing company, and we decided to publish it there. We love the art and storytelling style of the 90s. We try out best, okay, but I think it's supposed to be to put that love into our comic. The book is 100% complete and ready to print and ship. What audience is this aimed at? Nick, young adults would be our target audience because of the gore and language. Obviously, not something that you should really be reading to little kids unless you want to give them nightmares. Yes. Chris, who is the creative team on this comic? Nick, Rich Parada is the penciler and inker that illustrated this book. Renee Garza is the writer and co-creator. Michael Woods blessed us with his impactful color style. Chris, what are you learning from self-publishing and crowdfunding through this process? Nick, it's a full-time job, which is hard when you already have a full-time job. I do enjoy the challenge of time management and filling our books to the readers that want them. Always have the book done before your campaign. Interesting artwork here, to say the least. Chris, after this issue, are there more stories to tell? Nick, this is arc one and okay, I think that should be an ongoing series that delves into the construct struggle between man and mask, and who ends up corrupting who, and who ends up corrupting who. It will eventually lead to a large crossover with our other heroes for the fate of our existence. Wow! Wow, 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 wow! That's quite interesting. Man or mask? Who corrupts who? Thanks, Nick. Anything else you would like to share with our readers before we wrap up on this week's ICS? Nick, if you grew up loving characters like Spawn and Venom, then this is the book you've been looking for. And then we already, of course, shared the link. So that's it for this installment. If you're a creator ramping up your own campaign or have a comic available for purchase online and you want to be featured in our weekly column, click here and follow Indie Comic Showcase on Twitter at at, at Indie Comics. Reach out to them for more eyes on your crowdfunding comic project. Till next time, support Indie Comics. Here you go. Alrighty then. Hopefully y'all enjoyed that. That is the only article we're doing tonight. Let's see, 40. I got here late, Xenu and Xena. Yep. Yeah, you basically missed the main article, my friend. Anyways, so we are gonna get ready to move on to wrestling wrap up here. Let's see. I'm going to go over some stuff that's been going on of late here, the world of pro wrestling. So, of course, the WWE side of things, see, the only real thing that they talked about today was a rumor that had been going around for a while, albeit normally these rumors don't get talked about, but this one's just been so rampant that there are some people who believe that Stephanie McMahon and Hunter Alexander, aka Triple H, are separating. Some people have said they've noticed that they haven't seen them together too much beyond official company events, but then other people have said that, like one of their neighbors said, no, they were out enjoying fireworks. Now, mind you, Stephanie did decide to kind of step back from the business to focus on family too. That's why people really haven't been seeing her around. And Hunter's been getting more involved in the creative side of it, running like SmackDown and Raw. But aside from that, there's not a whole lot going on. WWE is still, of course, preparing for next Saturday's Fastlane pay-per-view. Let's see. So I think one of the things they are trying to set up for is a Shinsuke versus Ricochet match there. But aside from that, there's not a whole lot to talk about the WWE right now. AEW, however, they are, of course, preparing for this Sunday's Dreamfest pay-per-view. We'll go over that card in complete detail in a moment here. On last night's Dynamite, as part of the lead-up to this weekend's Dreamfest, wait. Actually, part of this weekend's lead-up to Dreamfest this Sunday. Let's see. Ray Fenix defended the international title against Jeff Jarrett, in which he won that match. In a number one contenders three-way match, Nick Jackson defeated Brian Cage and Claudio Castagnoli. Nick Jackson of the Elite, Brian Cage of the Mogul Embassy, and Claudio Castagnoli of the Blackpool Combat Club, in a four-way match match between four of the participants in the four-way number one contendership to the AEW World Tag Title on Sunday. Orange Cassidy defeated Austin Gunn, Matt Jackson, and Penta El Zero Miedo. And then in the main event, saw Julia Hart continue to build momentum towards her upcoming match. She defeated Willow Nightingale, as Julia is set to take on Chris Statlander at this Sunday's pay-per-view. Now, of course, in further leading up to said event, coming up on this Friday's Rampage, the card for this Friday's Rampage includes, Billy Gunn and the Acclaim will be defending the World Trios title against the Hardys and Isaiah Cassidy. Eddie Kingston defends the New Japan Strong Openweight title against Rocky Romero. The Righteous, who are set to take on AEW the Ring of Honor World Tag Team Champions Adam Cole and MJF on this Sunday's Dreamfest, will be taking on the team of Gunner and Caleb Crush. And the main event for tomorrow night's Rampage, in a number one contenders match for the AEW Women's World title, Hikaru Shida will be taking on Ruby Soho. And with that, with one more thing to talk about here, the Sunday's, of course, pay-per-view coming from the Climate Pledge Arena in Seattle, Washington. Dreamfest, the full card, as soon as I pull it up here, will be as follows. AEW's Wrestle Dream, which is also being set up as a tribute show to the late, great Antonio Inoki as well. Legendary Japanese star, probably most Americans probably might remember him from about 47 years ago in his somewhat infamous match against infamous boxer versus wrestler match against Muhammad Ali. The show the main event for the show will include Bryan Danielson taking on Zack Sabre Jr. in what is being billed as a dream match, in which Danielson in which it's set up as supposedly the two greatest technical wrestlers of our time. Adam Page will be taking on Swerve Strickland. Should Eddie Kingston retain his title, he'll be defending the Strong Openweight title and Ring of Honor World title against Ring of Honor Pure Champion Katsuyori Shibata. As mentioned earlier, AEW World Tag Team title. Actually, I didn't. Well, yeah. The AEW World Tag Team titles will be defended by FTR. Will be defending the AEW World title against Aussie Open. In a best 2 out of 3 falls match, Christian Cage defends his recently won TNT title match against Darby Allin. And what is now being set up as a 2-on-1 match for the Ring of Honor World Tag Team Championship, I guess because Adam Cole is injured. The Righteous will be taking on AEW World Champion MJF. In a 6-man tag, the Don Callis family of Sammy Guevara, Will Ospreay, and Konosuke Takeshita will be taking on Chris Jericho and the team known as the Golden Lovers of Kota Ibushi and Kenny Omega. Chris Statlander, as we said earlier, will be defending the TBS title against Julia Hart. And in a number 1 contenders match for the AEW World Tag Team titles, to face the winner, of course, of the FTR Aussie Open match. You have Hook and Orange Cassidy versus the Young Bucks, Matt and Nick Jackson versus Lucha Brothers of Penta El Zero Miedo and Rey Fenix versus the Guns, Austin Colton Gunn. And the opening match for Wrestle Dream will be Ricky Starks taking on Wheeler Yuta of the Blackpool Combat Club. And also, we do have a little bit of news for tonight, as on tonight's edition of Impact Wrestling. We have to look forward to on that, unless you're already watching it. So I can pull it up here. Technically classified as the 1001st episode. Rhino will be taking on Jack Price. In a non-title match, Trinity takes on Giselle Shaw. For the Impact, Trinity is the Impact Knockouts champion, just so you know. In a title match for in an X Division title match, Chris Sabin, the 10-time champion, will be defending against Alan Angels. Kenny King and Sheldon Jean will be taking on Heath and Tommy Dreamer in a Memphis street fight, as the show will be from Graceland Live in Memphis, Tennessee. Mid-South Mayhem is what they call the event for the live shows. And then in a renewal of their very friendly yet competitive rivalry, you'll have Jonathan Gresham taking on former X Division champion Mike Bailey. So, so that's what's going on Impact. Is of course they're leading up into Bound for Glory in a few weeks here on the 21st. So with that, let's finish things off by getting into this day in each history. History. Let me 8. All right. So, anyways, today is Thursday, September 28th, 2023. So let's take a look back at this day in each history. History! So first off, we're going to head back to 1953, which was 70 years ago today. As on this day in 1953, the 20th issue of Black Rider. Now, this is a book that went through several title changes. At this point, it was initially called All Winners, and then All Western Winners, and Black Rider, and then eventually became known as Gunsmoke Western. But on this date in 1953, the 20th issue of this book of Black Rider went on sale on newsstands. It was a bi-monthly book, sold for 10 cents. 32 pages was the count. Of course, had 3 Black Rider features and a 2-gun kid feature. So on this date, 70 years ago today, the 20th issue of Black Rider went on sale. Also, on this date in 1998, WWE held its Monday Night Raw event from the Joe Louis Arena in Detroit, Michigan. The night after, it's In Your House. And I think it was Breakdown was the name of the event. In Your House Breakdown event. Main event saw Ken Shamrock, Mankind, and The Rock defeat Kane and The Undertaker in a 3-on-2 handicap match. Kane and Undertaker having both won the WWF Championship the night before in a triple threat match against Stone Cold, Steve Austin. Val Venus would defeat X-Pac in a WWF European Championship match via DQ. The Oddities of Golga and Kurgan defeated the Headbangers. Farouk defeated Mark Henry with China as a special guest referee. In a 6-man elimination match, determined the number 1 contender to the WWF European title, D'Lo Brown outlasted Draws, Edge, Gangrel, Jeff Jarrett, and Mark Merrow. Let's see. Dan Severn and Owen Hart battled to a no contest in a submission match, and then Southern Justice defeated New Age Outlaws via DQ in a match for the WWF Tag Team Championship. So on this date, 25 years ago today, WWF held its Monday Night Raw event from the Joe Louis Arena in Detroit, Michigan. Moving on to the next piece of niche history. On this date back in 2003, 20 years ago today, the stop-motion animated television series JoJo Circus premiered on the Playhouse Disney portion of the Disney Channel. On this date, 20 years ago today, JoJo Circus, the stop-motion animated series, premiered on Playhouse Disney on this date 20 years ago. And finally, on this date 5 years ago today, Inazuma 11 Aries would complete its run on Japanese TV on this date in 2018, 5 years ago today. So, on this date, 5 years ago today, Inazuma 11 Aries would complete its run on this date in 2018, 5 years ago, on TXN, TV Tokyo, and TV Osaka. So there we have it, folks, and I thank everybody for being here tonight. I hope everybody enjoyed the show. As such, don't forget we'll be back here tomorrow night, as I will have as RJ Carter will be my co-host. We'll be looking at comics that went on sale from Centaur Comics back in December 1939. I hope to see you all there, and I shall bid you all adieu. Bye.